Our world was not made for women and children. These days, it offers a hectic mix of speed and busyness, high stakes and risky options, unmoored connection, and a heady mix of education and entertainment that keeps us on our toes and yet plugged in with nowhere to go. I know I have needed a reevaluation of my life to live a more intentional life with a calm heart and a happy home. So I put together this list of 8 old-fashioned habits that we as mothers need if we're going to be happy again, and our children do too. If that's a struggle, and let's be real, it is for most of us at least some of the time, grab my free masterclass. It's pinned below. It's real, it's raw, it's simple, but it holds the secrets that have transformed my life and can help you stop being miserable at home and be truly happy again in a place you want to be. Hi, I'm Morgiana Anderson. I'm mom to 8 kids, and I'm passionate about helping mothers who are deeply invested in their children's mental and emotional health, happiness, and freedom. Not just when they're little, but throughout their lives, because parenting is the ultimate long game. If that's you, and you also want some health and happiness and freedom, like, subscribe, stick around, and share with some friends. See what I have that can help you. These are old-fashioned habits that used to be a part of humanity, that used to be a part of the way life was done, and we've lost them. So let's jump right in. Habit number 1 is walking. Walking is traditional, but it's like the epitome of human. It's ancient, it's prehistoric. Humans were made to walk, and we have for literally thousands of years until the convenience of modern life pushed us into kind of a sedentary dissolving that threatens our mental and emotional and physical health. Walking is just so incredibly good for you by every metric. It increases bone density. It, of course, strengthens your cardiovascular health, your heart health, and your lung health. It decreases cravings for all sweet things, and it helps your mental health too. These aren't just claims. They're backed up by real studies. Even going out and strolling around the block helps, but it's not just physical health. As a mother, there have been times when I literally find myself going from morning till night, barely even sitting down to feed myself or to go to the bathroom. And I realize I haven't seen the world outside the 4 walls of my home once in 24 hours. Those have been my hardest times, not because of the amount of things to do, but because it seems like the world is closing in around me and I'm stuck. Go outside, take a walk. Life opens up again. You're going to be okay. Number 2, routine and rhythm. Humans are the only part of creation that isn't tied to the rhythm of life by necessity, but that doesn't mean that we don't need one. Biologically, of course, all our systems run better when we have regular times for eating, regular times for sleeping, regular times for waking, regular times for movement. But again, it's not just biological. It's not just living in harmony with our mammal nature. That old nursery rhyme, wash on Monday, iron on Tuesday, mend on Wednesday, that wasn't a joke. That was real. And it was the way to organize your life so it wasn't running on urgent all the time. When everything has a time and a regular repeat built into it, you don't have to keep thinking about it and deciding it. It doesn't overflow into every spare moment or haunt you when you're trying to relax. You have the freedom of knowing exactly when it is, how to plan for it, how to contain it, and then when to be done. And if you miss 1 week or 1 day, you know that you'll circle back and get to it again. There's a piece to this kind of productivity that beats the scramble and then collapse, hands down. I can't tell you what a difference this has made, especially in our homeschooling. Number 3, the third old-fashioned habit is hobbies. I'm talking about generally practical and creative endeavors. Knitting, crocheting, sewing, painting, things like that. Women, mothers, used to do this all the time. It was just built into life. You learned these crafts as a child, and then you did them, depending on what you were good at and what your resources were. Sometimes they did them and sold them for money. Sometimes mothers did them sheerly for their own, because they loved to. Sometimes they did them for the benefit of their family, knitting socks, sewing clothes and there's just a certain kind of satisfaction that comes from seeing your own handiwork on someone you love or benefiting someone you love. My own grandma crocheted a full-size Afghan for every one of us 32 grandchildren, I think, plus the most exquisite doll clothes. And we just treasure them. Every single one of us, I think, as cousins, holds on to that. That's a precious piece of her that she knit her time and her energy into for us, crocheted. But some people I've heard love to hate on this kind of thing. They say that encouraging women to focus on hobbies is a way of distracting them from the fact that they're oppressed or that they're stuck at home and they would be more fulfilled if they went outside. But while that may be true for some people, I think it's missing the whole point of hobbies. Research only verifies what tradition already knows. Creating beautiful things fills an essential need in us as humans. Our mental health, our confidence, our productivity at work, and everything mothers do is work, increases when we're engaged regularly in creative activities. Our stress hormones go down, and our brain regains plasticity and growth, and can even measure 3 to 5 years younger than our biological age, when this is something that's just a part of our life. It's like play for grown-ups, meaningful activity that nourishes and stretches us and lifts us out of that humdrum existence and demands of daily life. I never got very far with knitting, but I crocheted a baby blanket and music and watercolors and chalk art. Those things, I'm not good at them, but it's not about being good at them. It's about trying and enjoying yourself. I have a whole video about that, how living in your creativity can bring joy back into motherhood, if you want to go check that out when this is finished. Number 4, this one is so important. Every day, taking a nap or a rest time. In some cultures, this is just built into everyday life. When I lived in Spain as a young adult for some years, they had a siesta after lunch. We stayed home. We didn't go out and do anything because everything was closed down. But most of us have lost this by now. Taking time for a short rest, usually mid-afternoon, improves brain health, improves your memory and your capacity to deal with life. It allows for a reset of the waking hours. For us, in our family, it marks the shift from mostly directed and family-involved school, chores, and busyness to afterwards a time for exploration and creativity and free play, and the kids can learn to have a quiet time as well. Not through any harshness, but when all my kids were little, I made them all sit on the couch and I gave them a stack of books and some toys so I could sit in the rocker out there with the baby and have a little drowse and be present while they were having their quiet time until the timer rang. I'm not gonna lie, it takes a lot of effort to create that habit with small children, if that's what you're working with. Now that my oldest kids are older, sometimes they're in their room, sometimes they're in the kitchen doing something, sometimes they're in the sewing room working on something. But the point is, it's a dedicated period to take a breather, to focus on a quiet, introspective activity or a literal rest, and so we can come back again together afterward. It is so worth it. Number 5 of our old-fashioned habits that we are restoring: go calling or visiting. This has happened across time and across cultures. And when I think of it right now, I think of ladies going calling with their calling cards and visiting and having a little chat, keeping the social connections strong. It doesn't matter so much that they liked each other, it just mattered that we know each other and we're building this web of social connections. Now, this was one of the things people used to do after their rest times. Now we're so busy that we just jealously guard our time and probably don't want to drop in on other people because they also value their time and have so many things taking it. So dropping in might not be the best idea. When I had one toddler and lived far from home, far from my people, it was a lifesaver to be across the street from another young mom who had 2 little ones. Our husbands worked together, and we would go on a walk together every morning. We often ran over to each other's houses in the afternoons as well. We usually had Sunday dinner together. If she was folding laundry, I folded laundry with her. If we were doing dishes, we did dishes together. In that case, dropping in worked. And it was such an emotional and mental relief to not be alone, to have somebody that I could just reach out to or reach out to me. Also to have somebody to talk to besides my husband and my baby. Now, I live farther out in the country these days, and I'm actively homeschooling 6 children with 2 little ones running around. So dropping in doesn't work so well because my day is much more full and structured in the sense of things to do. But I still set a time 1 day a week where I get together with certain friends and their children, and we visit. Our children play together, we relax, we talk. It isn't always convenient. It isn't always easy. We've gone through the ups and downs of life together. We've counseled together when marriages are hard. We've laughed over the hilarious things that our kids do. We've agonized over the difficulties of motherhood. And we've been there for each other. So trust me, go visit. Even if it's somebody you don't know, you don't have that deep connection with yet, start visiting and you will find it. Make it part of your life and it will come back to bless you. Number 6, go on dates. Now this one might strike into the heart of some because it can feel hard if you're a single mom or if your marriage or partnership is going through a rough time. Maybe you don't want to go on dates, but hear me out. It is imperative for the health of your relationship. Studies show that married people who go on dates have higher communication, higher marriage satisfaction, and better sex lives overall. Arthur Brooks, who's a Harvard happiness researcher, that's a mouthful, Harvard happiness researcher, likens it to this. You have this pitcher of water, that's your relationship, and either you bring with you or you put into it as you go along rocks and dirt, and that's the stuff that makes it hard in marriage. And you can go and talk about it and look at it and try to figure it out. That's stirring it up. And believe me, that's important, but stirring it up, it's just still there. So Arthur Brooks says the key to making it better actually is adding more clean water, because eventually it washes out the dirt, it washes out the rocks until you have this lovely clear water. If you just keep adding clean water, that's what the dates are. Troubles and misunderstandings and stress, miscommunication, all these things can happen, and they do happen in real life, to muddy the waters of our relationships and make us unhappy. But regular and frequent dates, even simple dates, add opportunities for fun and mutual attention and enjoyment. Clean water. And if you're like me and you tend toward avoiding conflict and staying away from confrontation, dates can be really helpful because they force you to face each other and to realize things are getting off before it hits crisis. If you both are realizing that one of you doesn't want to hold hands anymore, or that one of you is pulling away, then you can start addressing it before one of you suddenly doesn't want to be married anymore. We personally, and me and my husband, have gone on a date every Friday night, almost since we've been married. When we had little kids and we didn't have any babysitters, we took them with us. And then we got to a certain point where we had to hire babysitters. And that's a significant expense. I don't want to downplay that at all. It can make it seem almost undoable, like it's too much. But think about it this way. That's an investment in yourself. That's an investment in your relationship. And it's worth, I can only just say it will pay you back. Now our oldest kids are old enough that they babysit. And it's sort of come full circle that way. But you will never regret going on dates. Whether or not the relationship works out, the dates will be worth it. And if you're single, they actually might be even more important. I'm not talking about going out and playing the field. I'm talking about taking yourself on dates. There was a period of time where my husband was often gone. And I had to learn to say, no, I still need to get out of the house. I still need to show up for myself. I need an opportunity to remember that I as a person can take a moment and enjoy the beauty of life. And you are someone besides mom. You will come back refreshed, lighter, and with a whole new perspective, ready to be present and happy. Go on date with yourself or with your spouse. Number 7. This one is a little bit less controversial, but it's very powerful. There's something about getting to be off before you go to sleep that is just so refreshing. I'm talking about not collapsing on the couch to scroll or to mindlessly watch Netflix while the house is just an exploded chaos around you. And I'm not talking about waiting till the kids are asleep or working till the kids are asleep and then doing all the laundry, doing all the vacuuming, cleaning the bathrooms, and collapsing into bed. Both of those extremes are bad for mom's happiness and actually bad for the whole family. But if you can set a time to be done, to clock out, to say kitchen's closed, house is shut down, I can just be me before bedtime, it can be an incredibly peaceful reset to the day. My clock out time used to be 8 o'clock. Now I have older kids, so it changes a little bit, but I would work hard through the afternoon to make sure I got done what I wanted to get done. The dishes, the meal was done, whatever I had for that day, so that when I got those kids to bed and I walked out of their bedroom, I had nothing left on my to-do list. It was time for me, with my spouse if he was present. You just have to stop. There's always more that could be done. But you just have to stop sometimes and be off before you're just falling into bed. This one thing will make an incredible difference in your ability to be happy and peaceful at home. Last one, number 8. Now this one might be a little bit controversial too. It's going to church. This used to be what everyone did. Of course, sometimes it was like if you didn't go to church, you were going to get fined or something. Let me be clear, I go to church, but I'm not trying to dictate to anyone else what you believe or where you should go to church or how you should worship. What I am saying, choosing a church to regularly participate in can bless your life in ways that you might not expect. Pragmatically speaking, people who go to church regularly die less from every cause, have lower depression, anxiety, and hopelessness, and have a higher life satisfaction, purpose to their life, and community connection. Church can provide a cohort for our children to grow up with, peers, and for us, also like-minded peers and mentors, people who've been there before, who share our values and can help us walk through the difficult things that everybody faces at some point. But more than that, something in us craves a connection to the divine. Something in us, especially as moms, knows that we need support that goes beyond the mortal. We need understanding that's deeper than our own. I've only found those things through the commitment to regularly seeking it, through the spiritual discipline of attending church and living my faith in my private life. So there we are, 8 old-fashioned habits that will transform your life if you will choose one. Which one are you going to try? Pause the video right now, think about it, and leave me a comment. Tell me which one you're going to try. And then go watch my video on mastering self-care. It can be a game changer.